The Bible is the ultimate truth, divinely inspired, and not merely a product of human authorship. If the Bible were written solely by men, it would be evident, as they would likely omit their own weaknesses and failures, presenting themselves as heroes instead. However, the Bible candidly reveals the flaws of its figures, underscoring its divine inspiration and purpose for our understanding. Being a godly man requires conscious and deliberate actions, engaging in a lifelong process of spiritual growth. There are certain habits that are particularly detrimental to living a godly life. Observing a martial arts fighter prepare rigorously for a fight, avoiding anything that might hinder his performance, brings to mind similar principles applicable to Christians. We must avoid certain things to not grieve the Holy Spirit and to live devoutly. If you appreciate this message and want more inspiring content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell for notifications of new videos. Also, like this video to help us spread this message to more people. Habit 1. Chasing women. One of the subtle ways the devil tempts godly men is through women. The natural attraction between a man and a woman can be exploited to lead men into the sins of fornication and adultery. The Bible provides several examples of great men who fell into this trap. Samson, renowned for his strength, was ultimately defeated by his desire to pursue women. Despite his extraordinary capabilities, his pursuit of women led to his downfall and untimely death. Many believe they are immune to sexual sin and temptation, thinking they are holier or stronger than they truly are. However, the Bible warns that even the most pious, strong, and wise can fall. Society may glorify men with multiple women, but God does not bless illicit relationships or approve of abandoning one's marriage to pursue another woman. A godly life and a promiscuous lifestyle cannot coexist. Those who engage in fornication and adultery cannot come before the Lord with a clean mind and heart. The pursuit of women outside of marriage leads to ruin, as seen in countless lives destroyed by promiscuity. Instead of seeking what seems greener on the other side, men should nurture their own marriages and be content with the wives God has given them. Habit 2. Pursuing pleasure. Nothing weakens a godly man more than the love of pleasure. 1 Timothy 5:6 states, "But she who lives for pleasure is dead even while she lives." This principle applies to men as well. Pursuing pleasure in any form weakens one's spiritual life. The more one indulges in pleasure, the more the spirit suffers. Our spirit and flesh are in constant battle, and feeding the flesh through pleasure diminishes spiritual strength. Seeking pleasure isn't limited to sexual immorality. Overeating, oversleeping, watching immoral videos, using drugs, gambling, and self-gratification are all forms of pursuing pleasure that weaken a godly man. Pleasure acts like thorns that suffocate piety and spirituality. One cannot maintain a fervent Christian life while indulging in worldly pleasures. For instance, a young man addicted to pornography found that he could no longer pray effectively because those images haunted him, demonstrating how the pursuit of pleasure can hinder spiritual life. Habit 3. Neglecting prayer and Bible study. Neglecting prayer and Bible study is another habit that weakens godly men. Prayer is our direct line to God, and studying His Word equips us with the wisdom and discernment needed to navigate life. Without these spiritual disciplines, we become vulnerable, lacking divine guidance, and exposing ourselves to worldly temptations. Many godly men, overwhelmed by daily responsibilities, begin to reduce their time in prayer and Bible study. They mistakenly believe they can handle life on their own, forsaking the spiritual practices that once strengthened them. This leads to a weakened relationship with God and susceptibility to negative influences. It is crucial to prioritize daily communion with God through prayer and Bible study. These practices provide spiritual strength, peace, and direction amidst chaos. Habit 4. Settling for spiritual mediocrity. The final habit that weakens godly men is settling for spiritual mediocrity. Many begin their walk with God with great enthusiasm, but over time, their fervor wanes and they settle into a routine without striving for deeper spiritual growth. God calls us to a life of holiness and continuous growth in our relationship with Him. Settling for the minimum prevents us from experiencing the fullness of the Christian life. Some men are content with merely attending church on Sundays, making no effort to live out their faith in daily life. Spiritual mediocrity is dangerous because it creates a false sense of security, making us think we are doing well when we are actually stagnant. Instead of settling, we should strive to deepen our relationship with God, participate in Bible studies, serve our communities, and seek the guidance of the Holy Spirit in all we do. God calls us to an abundant life, but to experience it, we must step out of our comfort zones and seek Him wholeheartedly. In conclusion, these 4 habits, chasing women, seeking pleasure, neglecting prayer and Bible study, and settling for spiritual mediocrity, can seriously weaken godly men. It is crucial to identify these patterns in our lives and take steps to correct them. Strengthening our relationship with God requires effort and dedication, but the fruits of a godly life are eternal and invaluable.